You and I have a mandate. Let's talk about your mandate every Thursday on the program, The Mandate. Brought to you by ZT Communications in partnership with the Taraba State Broadcasting Service, TSBS Jalingo. For sponsorship and advert placement, please call 0803 454 0469. The Mandate, a path to good governance. Hello, welcome to another edition of the program, The Mandate. Recall, The Mandate is the program where we bring in chief executives from the private or public sector to tell us what their mandate is and how that mandate impacts on the society. You agree with me that spending money is one very important component of enjoying our lives generally, be it at the household level or state or the nation's lifespan. Today on The Mandate, we will listen to someone who plans the entire expenditure for Taraba State Government. I'm talking about the Commissioner for Budget and Planning, what his mandate is and how that mandate benefits the society. Recall, you can listen to this program on the TSBS radio as well as on our online platform www.ztonline.com. So without wasting so much time, let me welcome on the program Honorable Solomon Elisha.
Thank you.
So like I did say, what's your mandate?
Well, first of all, I want to thank God Almighty for the gift of life, and I want to appreciate the management of Taraba TSBS, Taraba State Broadcasting Service. The radio station have been a mouthpiece of the state, and they have been doing well in trying to making sure that the citizens are being abreast with the activities of the government. So it's highly commendable. And this program is more or less a new dimension. It's an innovation, and it needs to be commended too.
Thank you very much, sir.
Well, the mandate of this ministry is to make sure that budget has been prepared, presented, approved by the State House of Assembly, assent by the governor, and then the mandate of this ministry is also making sure that the budget has been properly monitored. We should be able to look at some of the budget performances and making sure that MDS are strictly adhered to the provision of the budget. Another mandate is for us to put up a supplementary budget area whereby some issues crop up which we are not budgeted for. We should be able to put up a supplementary, and where for the purpose of omission or commission, and that maybe the provisions have been a little bit shoot over, then we should be able to make a virement. We via from another subhead to take care of where the budget overruns the wrong way. And the mandate of the ministry also is to make sure that citizens have been abreast with the spending of the government. We have a mandate as a ministry to put up a citizen budget, breaking down the whole budget into a simplified version, which can be understood by a layman in the street. We coordinate the economy of the states, owing to the fact that budget and economic planning, we make economic plan for the states. The ministry also serves as a secretariat for the state's open government partnership. We also serve as a secretariat for the State Economic Council. We also serve as a secretariat for the state chapter of the National Economic Council. My participatory in the National Economic Council is more or less on a technical level. My principal, the governor, attend as a member. I join him there for the purpose or follow-up of the implementations of their decisions in the council. So I am the technical man behind him there. So once you look at some of these things that I might have elaborated, I should be able to tell you that this ministry happens to be the backbone of the government. We also serve as a link between development partners and the government. No any intervention, but nationally or internationally, that will come into the states that will not have passed through the ministry because of the significance of the establishment of the ministry. And again, we also coordinate and supervise the activities of the civil society organizations, thereby making sure that they are doing the right thing. So these are some of the little mandate of the ministry that I may lay my hand on them for now.
I can imagine. So enormous, yet you say that's the little you can lay your hands on now. Meaning you have a huge task. This is more like the life wire of the entire state. So generally, how does this mandate now impact on good governance that reflects trickles down to the common man in Taraba State?
Let me go in a kind of scientific way. The mandate is citizen driven.
How do you mean?
Because when it comes to budgeting, the process of budgeting starts from the citizen. Yes.
Okay.
We gone are the days whereby you just sit down and write what you feel like writing. No.
Make a budget for, not with.
We make sure that we have a kind of town hall meeting. We interact with the citizenry. Then we drive our budget based on what the citizen want. So can you now see the inflow? We drive the budget of government based on our interaction with the citizens. And this, we started it at the senatorial level. So as I'm talking to you now, we are taking it down to the local government level. The year 2022 budget, we have to do interactive session in all the 16 local government here in the state to get the citizen input and then build up the budget based on what the citizen want. And again, we make the budget open. Yes, once you Google, you see Taraba State budget. Online.
Wow.
And you check for yourself so that you should be able to criticize
or track
constructively. So the mandate is citizen driven, and we have been doing it judiciously, making sure that we carry the people in the process of budgeting and even the economic planning. Sometimes you should be able to get your input from the citizen. Thank you.
Wonderful. That's really what good governance is all about, if you ask me, because instead of making provisions for someone where you do not even have his input to know what he needs, than just giving him what you think he may wish to or he deserves, I think it's really citizen driven. But then how are you achieving this with the level of understanding of the people at that level? You did mention a lot of very technical issues in the course of your introduction of your mandate that even I, who is a little bit enlightened, cannot reconcile, talking about the open governance,
open government
partnership, and then talking about things like having to go to the economic council. Well, the farmer, how does he really relate with all of that? Well, so how do you break it down to let them really even know what they want to participate in?
Well, we have a community development personnel, who are working with the rural people.
That's like your representative at the community level? No,
in all the local government councils, you have people that are called community developers. They are trained community developers. So they interact with the people. They understand their language. they understand their ethics, and they should be able to know what they want. That one in another aspect. So in another part again, civil society organizations represent people.
Yeah, sure.
So when we combine this and got community leaders, we should be able to have at least a kind of majority voice of the citizen. These are some of the logic as a government we pass through for us to get the actual raw material.
Wow. That's commendable again, because it means that the governance is geared towards ensuring that the common man benefits.
Yeah.
But the challenge world over, paucity of funds, has that affected Taraba State budget in any way? Especially with the breakout of the COVID-19 and all of this, the sundries, recession and all of that. Has that affected Taraba State's budget in any way?
Yeah, it did tremendously. What was coming in from the Federation happens to be badly affected. And our IGR has been that low, though we are working very hard in making sure that we improve the internally generated revenue. But nevertheless, because the government is a visionary government, the government is people-oriented government. The government, our leader, His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Taraba State, have the people of the state at heart. You can see salary are being paid promptly, despite the challenges of the economy. Salaries are being paid promptly. Projects are still ongoing. Go to other states and see. They stop all capital projects. But Taraba State, because this is a visionary government, we are trying our best in making sure that apart from, despite the challenges, salaries are paid promptly and all the capital projects are still ongoing. And we are even embarking on new ones to tell you how visionary the government is.
Really? You're embarking on new projects, even with these challenges of paucity of funds?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, let's see how it plays out, because you politicians, 2023 is at the corner. So I'm wondering how new projects can actually creep up and then get completed within the short span that this government has left. Is that possible?
Government is a continuous process.
Well, that's it. So
when we came on board, we inherited a lot of projects. We completed some. We are still working on some, and that does not stop us from executing the new project we have as a mandate. So eventually we can start. If we finish, fine. If you
don't, the next government
continues.
Well, it's good to start after all. It's a journey of 1,000 miles begins with a step. So, but then now, let's talk about the lifespan of the budgets for Taraba State, for instance, the performance. How have you rated it in these few years that have passed? Why I ask so, I was opportune to read in the press where the governor did state that the 2020 budget had low performance because of his ill state. So what's the performance level for your ministry's budget?
Well, it's commendable. Why we had issues with the 2020 budget was because of the COVID. When we were preparing the 2020 budget, we didn't envisage that we would have COVID-19. And eventually, COVID-19 was not even budgeted for. So, and
they swept off every other item.
And then COVID-19 just came and there was problem. There was disaster. So we have to cut down the budget from the level it was, over 200 billion, to like 170 something billion. And try to the little 170 something billion that was visible. We have to put up about a very large percentage of that amount to COVID-19 related programs and whatsoever. So you see how the whole thing now derail our vision and our mission. So, but I can say that the performance was relatively good. I can't say very good, neither do I say excellent, but it was relatively good, owing to the fact that we have a lot of challenges. Thank you.
All right, then. The challenges will not deter us. 2021 is here. The budget has been passed. It started already?
Yes.
Okay.
The budget started 1st January.
Wow.
For the first time, to the best of our knowledge, in Taraba State, our budget started 1st January. There was no room for warrant. So, it's highly commendable. We are working around the clock.
Okay.
In making sure that we write, we make sure that we should be able to do what is realistic. And this we have been doing. The only thing that I can say that is making the whole thing look somehow is the patriotism of our citizens.
How do you mean?
What I mean is that some of the information we make available from our citizens have a little absence of truth.
Okay.
Because
well, that's the reason why you have the platforms to correct or give appropriate information to the public so they can also follow and join in.
Can you force somebody to tell you the truth?
Sure not. But if it is obligatory.
Now that you just came from your house. Maybe you have taken a tea and bread. And if you told me that you have eaten chicken and rice, I wouldn't know.
For sure. So why what? I didn't get that relationship.
What I mean here is that I want to relate this to the report that is projecting Taraba State as the poorest state.
Sure. I was going to come to that too.
And you know it's not true.
Okay.
Yes.
Why?
Somebody will have 20,000 in his pocket. And when he is asked by some of these survey enumerators that came to survey
to take statistics
on that, and he will tell you that for the past 3 months he have never held 500 in his hand, and which is not true.
You think so, sir?
Yes.
Now, but sir, if you just oppose this with what happened during the EndSARS protest, the massive looting of private and government-owned institutions, would you really still hold that opinion?
Well, I don't want to say much on the issue of EndSARS. I have been a former youth leader.
Okay.
Yes.
So that was your constituency.
So if I said I will now tell you how the youth are, you will be surprised. And I don't want to dive into that. I have a lot in my hand. Because we have a problem as a nation. Our youth are not patriotic. They are self-centered. They like cutting corners. Everybody is thinking of himself. Nobody is thinking of how the country can be great.
Or what they do for the country.
So if I continue to talk to you concerning youth, you just waste your time here. So let me not dive into that.
Sure.
And pray that may God Almighty turn their heart and make sure that they reorientate their moral value.
So would you wait for them to reorientate, or what are you doing there? Let me ask you, what is your ministry in the course of budgeting? Do you have a line item to take care of maybe capacity building for some of these persons to see how we can have a reorientation of the society?
Yeah, enough provision have been made on the budget.
Okay.
Check through the budget of the Ministry of Youth and Sport Development. They have a very sizable amount of money that will take care of youth development. The Ministry of Poverty Alleviation. When you look at their mandate, it's mostly job creation and whatsoever.
And the youth are the target.
You go to the Ministry of Women Affairs, youth are also the target.
But could it be that the information does not reach them, so they don't even know what is in stock for them?
The youth are also there. The whole thing is the mindset.
Okay.
It's the mindset. Gather them and give them training on computer or whatsoever. After you have done, once you distribute the material to them, just peep outside and see. There will be a mini market outside.
Oh,
people selling all these things there. So you see, these are some of the. I don't want to dive into.
Sure. You said so. Let it be for another day. So let's come back. How, although it has to affect what even you have planned for. If at the end of the day you have this distraction, it means you might not really have the result you envisaged at the end of the day. So maybe as a way of winding down on the program, what will your ministry do in your mandate to ensure that we have a buy-in of the citizen, be it the youths, the women, the vulnerable group, and everyone, to ensure that we get the goal at the end of the day?
Well, we have worked very hard as a ministry, as a government, in making sure that the people have confidence in us. And because of what we have done lately, making sure that some of these government policies and programs have been made open, that have started gaining a lot of confidence of the citizenry.
Okay.
Making them to participate in most of our activities, and giving them all the necessary backing in the areas of victimization and whatsoever. That has also done greatly. And again, our government is people-oriented government. The governor is people-friendly. So that has also done great thing in making sure that the citizens have confidence in the government. But government is a two-way traffic, leads and the leaders.
Sure.
So once we have done our part, the followers too need to do their part.
We have an obligation.
So that we should be able to have a great Taraba. And as I'm talking to you now, Taraba shall be great.
I say amen to that. Now today that you have the opportunity to talk to the world generally, what will you correct? What are those things that you think are happening in Taraba State that is misrepresented, especially with the economy? I was going to come to that. The statistics economically for Taraba State looks red. If you click on the internet now, you see it. The poorest state in the country is Taraba State, and then you see Sokoto flinging year in, year out. The state that has not contributed anything internally generated revenue, you see Taraba, and I'm wondering, so now today you have the opportunity, can you tell us, correct this notion, like you have said it is a wrong one?
Yeah, we didn't know the indices the enumerators use in getting that result. Some of these things are scientific, and as an economics, I don't want to assume. As an economics,
you have to be specific.
We have to be specific because the resources are always scarce. An economist can never tell you that he has surplus. He has a very scarce resources that need to be distributed.
And priorities.
So, nevertheless, as a ministry, we are working on our own statistical report. A statistical report, and we have developed our own mechanism to checkmate. So once the result is ready, I should be able to voice out. Great. Because they have made their own scientific recommendation, and it is scientific. It's not a political talk that I will say I agree. So it's a scientific. We too should be able to come up with our own.
Sure.
So that we should be able to say, no, you people are wrong here. This is what is obtainable.
Are we expecting that soon?
Yeah, very soon.
Wow. Okay, because that would be better. It will also give the Taraban the confidence to speak out boldly out there that these statistics it's certainly wrong.
It's not an atmosphere of an agree. It is a scientific.
You must be specific, and you must come out with proof.
Yes.
Okay, we do hope that those indices are corrected, and then we have Taraba. But because if you ask me, when I go around and see the level of agricultural productivity in Taraba alone, I'm surprised to hear there are no internally generated revenue coming from here, and all of that. So, but like you said, we'll wait for that research, the outcome of that research, so that we can pin down on the facts.
Yeah.
But before I go again, let me ask on a lighter note, since the budget and planning of every facet of Taraba State comes from here, you did laud the media, especially the contribution of the Taraba State Broadcasting Service, which is the only radio station here. Now, there's just one, and are you planning to really fund it very well to operate maximally from the point of government, since it is your tool, and then you're looking at, having you guard it jealously? Is something that is in the government's consideration, priority?
Yeah, as a ministry, we have done our best by making sure that what is appropriated is being safeguarded. So we have done our own part.
And you will do more if there's a need.
We will continue to do more if there is need. But we are in a COVID era. And things are not funny.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. The COVID era will not exempt us from enjoying good governance. So, of course, the commissioner, you heard him say there that priorities will be accorded. But, of course, everyone has to sit up, if I understand you clearly, to ensure that we enjoy good governance as well. And again, I drew up from his conclusion, the budget is two-way. It has to be from the citizen and then to the government as well. We must do our part to ensure that we enjoy good government. So on the last note, as a parting shot, what would be your advice to Tarabans as relates to your mandate?
Well, my own advice is very simple, that we need to coexist peacefully as citizens for us to allow government to bring development in all spheres of life, whether human or capital development. We need to give peace a chance for us to develop as a state. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the Commissioner for Budget and Planning, Taraba State, Honorable Solomon Elisha, for talking to us today, telling us what your mandate is and then how it impacts on the society. You heard it here from him, and of course, they say word is enough for the wise. So, if we must also put in our bit to ensure that it is a circle where all of us enjoy good governance at the end of the day. That's how much we take on the mandate today. I'm yours sincerely, Iwe Sekunde Enoch, asking you to be good and join us for another edition. Bye for now. You and I have a mandate. Let's talk about your mandate every Thursday on the program, The Mandate. Brought to you by ZT Communications in partnership with the Taraba State Broadcasting Service, TSBS Jalingo. For sponsorship and advert placement, please call 0803-454-0469. The Mandate, a path to good governance.
They gonna lead us well. Don't let this nation to fall inside well. Fall inside well. Fall inside well. Fall inside well.